Welcome to the Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Amish, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, On the Level, Thomas van der Zender, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, JMails24, Unamento, M, Iron26, Endless, Golden McKinnon, Retro Bill, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B. Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Take a 200-pound ball on ice and throw it and tell me what happens. And he said, well, why would you want a 200-pound ball? And I said, doesn't everything weigh the same in space? He thought and he said, yeah, you're right. I said, okay, so how the hell can you throw a 200-pound ball? I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I guess you're right. And I'm like, man, I said, you're a smart guy, but you go out and you memorize all this stuff, but it doesn't actually get you anywhere. I hear hear a ding dong.
Yeah, morning, Nathan.
Morning.
All right, I'm here at the office. Have a good morning, a good show, guys.
All right, J.E. We're worried about you, Nathan. Everything okay?
Yeah.
We were just saying it's getting pretty late.
Watching Neil trying to fiddle to get in. Oh, there he is. Well, good morning. Good to be here.
Hello.
Yeah, I got kind of
Same here. Where are we?
somebody must have something.
Oh, that's Stevie, so that means we're in righteousness.
Yeah, that's where you're at, Neil. You're at your home.
How's it going, Stevie babes?
Oh, it's going good. Always goes good for me, but I'm old. Certain. Usually, Mush couldn't make it this morning. He told us that. I think Scube is back. I think he wants to talk.
Oh,
Yeah, Scube. Are you there, Scube? He doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, I am here, but I wasn't planning on talking a whole lot, so I'm probably just going to listen.
Well, it was just quiet, so I just thought I'd mention.
so Stevie, I didn't ask you, what's your take
Yeah.
on that TFE thing?
Oh God, I've never. My take on it was basically whatever to begin with, because I've got zero respect for the man running it, and then that whole thing to me is a set up situation, just like most, how the whole thing works. No big deal. And then my only question is this: is the sun, right? So we got to circle up north and we got to circle down south. I mean, is that what's going on now? That would be the only thing I want answered. But other than that, I could care less about being a ball. It's never going to be a ball. But I am curious. I've always been curious about not the map, just the sun itself, how it
The movement
actually
of the sun,
works.
right?
Yeah, just how the sun works is what I'm curious about. Because it might make it, if it does, I mean, like I'm thinking a circle north, what I'm familiar with, I guess. I can't even swear to that. And then the circle south, it might be are they doing the same damn thing? I don't know, but
Let me ask you a
I don't think
question.
anyone talks to me. Go ahead.
No man has ever created the sun or anything like it. This is God, the creator made the sun. I don't know what it does. You know what I mean? As far as where it goes, where it moves, where it circles, I have no clue.
Well, I don't know about that.
I can only see what I can see. I haven't been to any of these
Right,
places
yeah,
to validate anything.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying, Neil. Is I agree with you 100% there. But I'm saying, like, if me and you could get around, fly, move around, whatever, we'd know more about it. But yeah, I don't know what it does. Like I say, I mean, I always been with the circle, inner circle, Cancer, and the out one Capricorn, and I don't know. I don't know if that's correct or not. I don't care, but whatever. Doesn't make, it's like they say.
Whatever it does not passing enough the United Kingdom.
What was that?
So whatever sun does, it's always avoiding the United Kingdom. I don't know why.
Well, it makes a good music.
Mm. Yeah.
All I'm saying is
Let's
God
be
created it. We're not God. We don't know how it works. We don't
that
even know what it is. That'd be a good thing to know what the sun is first. What's it made of? The Bible says God made two great lights, one to rule by day and one to rule by night. And that's it.
Trust me, bro. I'm really know, so please don't call me fake. 'Cause you don't know the things I know or how much cash I make.
How
Good
are
day,
you?
good day.
Well, how are you?
Good afternoon. Hey.
Good afternoon.
Played out the pre-show with Trust Me Bro. Could you not hear that in the Hangout, Neil? Nobody here Trust Me Bro in the Hangout?
No, I heard some sort of music playing really quick, but that was it.
Could you hear Trust Me Bro? No. I could just hear some sort of music playing. Okay.
Yeah, you asked me what I heard. I didn't hear Trust Me, but I heard a little bit of music. Might have said it in that. I don't know. What are you asking me for?
Just because I wanted to know if my lines are all functioning correctly. I've just been fiddling with things. I was all dragging mic lines through various different small spaces, and sometimes things break, and you just don't know what might have broken. Not that that would affect my internal switching of audio. It should have just reached you, but maybe it saw it as audio chaos and just reduced it as sound reduction. In any event, let's do a bit of housekeeping. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as Earth curve?
Black Swan.
No.
Where did we get to yesterday? Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No, just mathematical reifications.
All right, Jedi. How's things, by the way? It's not normally we're in each other's company under calm circumstances. Hey.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Good to see you. I thought I'd pop over. The politics was a bit quiet, so I thought I'd join you today.
Well, I will pop over tomorrow until I can find a different home from home. I'll continue to, frequent there on a Friday as it's kind of sort of penciled in and become a thing. I'll continue to do that because obviously I've been alluding each Friday, oh, maybe we're not best served here. So I don't want you to get the idea that I'm not going to toddle along there tomorrow, because I will.
It's one of the highlights of our week, mate, so
Is that
enjoy you
true?
turning up.
Oh, you're too kind.
I don't know why he was even talking about leaving. Why would you even say that? We could still go there even if we find another place. There are 5 days in a work week.
Yeah.
You have to test the waters, Neil. If people think something's going to be taken away from them, then they're more likely to throw money at it to keep it going. You see reverse psychology?
I don't know about wanting more money out of it. I actually think we are better served in places that when I arrive on a Friday, I hear everybody in that panel destroying globetards. They're just destroying them. So what I said it when I was there, I'm a bit of a fifth wheel. Doesn't mean we won't go, Neil. It means that in the same way as we toddled along to 24/7 yesterday, right? We'll toddle along to politics when we fancy it, because we're like regulars. So us just popping in won't be objectionable by the server operators, because they're like, oh yeah, well, Nathan's a regular. Okay, it's a Monday afternoon, but so what?
So because you heard them destroying globes, it's like work is done here. Let me wipe my hands and move on. Gee.
Well, in a way, yeah, Neil. There's only so many hours in the day, and isn't that what you want, to spread the good word of Earth being measured flat? Show.
Yeah, but I don't want to leave people. They enjoy us coming there. So what are you going to take it away from them because they're all singing from the same hymn sheet?
Yes.
How you
precisely.
doing, Jedi?
Precisely that, Neil. Exactly that. Yes.
We have branched out to a couple of other servers as well. We've got a couple of channels open on another politics and religion server. There's another one as well, that name escapes me. It might be incumbent upon me to speak to my higher ups and see if we can get you to toddle along to one of those. I think obviously that it is primarily 24/7 that kind of runs it, so you'll have the same moderators, but you might have a different flow of people coming into the channel. So I'll speak up if you're up for that. I'll see if I can get that ball rolling.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go wherever we're beneficial to Flat Earth. And Flat Earth has taken on a new meaning since the flaky Flat Earthers and Flat Earth believers have sort of divided themselves very literally themselves without us, forcing the issue. So I absolutely want to branch out a little bit and take a bit more of a leadership position without sounding big-headed and arrogant. It's after 10 years of doing the subject, I do feel that we can actually benefit people. I'm not just saying that to butter my own ego. You know what I mean? I said the same to Neil. Like, you've got to kind of take ownership of this in these circumstances. People will be looking up to you for answers where they may not have them. Yesterday we were talking about the upward rising earthers in that regard, but it could be anybody that's just got it, you know what I mean? So it's taking ownership of that rather than saying, why weren't we in that position before? Why were the people who were in that position doing such a terrible job? Why are the people who were formerly in that position decrying us now that they're leaving and taking loads of people with them? It's like, well, that was in the past. Not very long in the past. But, you know, now is now. And if we can better the people's argumentation and let them get on with their lives rather than engaging with blurf versus flurf debates for the next 10 years of their lives, then we will definitely be best served telling people that. But you don't have to remain around in what eventually turned into quite culty groups of people talking about conspiracies. If you know Earth's measured flat, you can just know that and get on with your day.
Good morning, guys.
Chocolate? But we've
Oh,
never had
no.
it phrased in that way until now, right? Where it's been literally described by their lips and the lips of people onlooking as cult-like. So us talking about things like the Feast of Nonsense and the way that their egregious behaviour has exhibited it in a way egregious enough for us to highlight it prior to TFE is now right on the surface to anybody who can, you know, shake a stick. It's really easy to see that, but like I say, we've got to eventually move on and say, well, what do you want out of this community if you want to call it that? Well, you want people to have good arguments, okay? But that in itself says that you want people to hang around. Well, I don't. I want people to have a choice if they want to hang around. We've got hours and hours and hours and hours of material of globetards getting smashed, but in the moment, your new guy that comes along and goes to random politics server, in this instance, isn't necessarily going to know any of these arguments. So it's nice to be in a position to actually pass them on and with confidence. I don't know if that's ever been the case prior to now, is it? And if it was, we weren't in a position to be listened to because there was seemingly other leaders who are now decrying the subject or affirming the biases of globe believers in some instances. Well, we're not that. Let's take ownership of it.
Yeah, we've taken on 24/7. We kind of work hand in hand with you guys. We take the good arguments and we take them out to the massives. So we try to demonstrate how we have knowledge that the Earth is measured flat, how it's practically used. If they want the conversation of where the ball comes from, we can give them that. Second law of thermodynamics. We've got all of these things in our arsenal. But we also have to be aware that we have to deal with the feast of nonsense from time to time. So, yeah, we like to play with our food as well, if I can use that expression. But
well,
it's lots of fun.
It's not so much playing with your food. You were right the first time. It's dealing with the feast of nonsense. Now, when you say dealing with playing with your food, I know what you mean. You're saying that some of the politics server participants and 24/7 participants will introduce feast of nonsense so they can rebut it, or tally along with somebody who's brought it up casually so that they can show how well they can refute their claims. Now, I get it. That's what you mean by playing with your food. But no, that's just flexing, right? If you know the arguments, then when they do come up and you have to deal with them reactively, knowing that you can because you've seen somebody postulate them speculatively on behalf of an opponent they know they're going to destroy, fair enough. Each to their own. If you want to do that, I don't personally. I don't want to go
witnessed.
Go on.
Sorry, I thought you were done. I witnessed Jedi on politics. I rolled in there one day, and I witnessed him with gas pressure without containment break that down for somebody, and the person actually turned on the spot. I couldn't believe it. It's the first time that I've ever witnessed that. Somebody hearing an argument, and he was resisting, and then he just stopped and said, "You know what? Thank you. You're right. NASA's been lying to me." I don't know if you remember that, Jedi.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Maybe within the last week or so. Yeah, the ones,
Yep.
Those type of people stick out in my memory. The guys that you have good conversation with, and they turn around to you and say, "Do you know what? You've actually got a point, and I can't refute that." Yeah, those ones stick in my head. So yeah, I appreciate that, Neil. That doesn't often happen. I've got to be honest with you guys. You will get the arguments, you will get the posturing, you will get all sorts of deflections and other subjects and this, that, and the other. But But yeah, I appreciate it, Neil. Sometimes I think that's one of the reasons why I personally stick around in the conversation, to find that one conversation I have where somebody turns around and goes, "Do you know what? I've learned something today. Thank you very much for your time."
Because Jedi 1 of 20 is listening, other 19 does not listen. That's the problem.
Nah, this guy was listening the way Jedi was breaking it down. He couldn't. He had to face the truth that it is impossible to have gas pressure without containment.
I know I'm listening to him every day, but I'm telling you, there are the persons who will listen, and there are the persons who want to only speak, you know.
Yeah. There will be that one person, and the audience aren't necessarily going to be the guy in the Discord chat actually interacting with you there and then. So, obviously, I'm acutely aware that the audience takes on board this stuff. But it is so nice. I was going to say, I didn't want to interrupt, but you're going to remember that sort of stuff because it so infrequently happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really happens. But you are right. It is not necessarily the person that we're talking to. It's the wider audience that are hearing the conversation, that we're hoping that they hear what is happening before their eyes. So, yeah, we all have to be mindful of these things, especially on a public platform that we're live streaming to the world, and people walk in and out of the conversation all the time because it's an open forum. So it's just not the person that we're speaking to.
That was
Yeah, I agree.
exactly what I was thinking about when I was happening. I'm like, the audience is hearing this, and I wonder how it's affecting them.
Yeah. Badly, probably, if they're a globe believer. But again, you can't really concern yourself. You drive yourself nuts if you were spending all day worrying about that fact. But you were there once.
Yeah.
We were all there once, right, Neil?
Yeah, but I mean, if the Globers were listening and they're hearing a guy coming with all these different types of, resisting everything Jedi was saying, and then just like throwing in his cards and saying, you know what, you're right. Boy, that must have affected them. I would have loved to have been there to see that.
Well, there's a certain
And
surface level cope that the Globers will have taken away from TFE. And I say that in the most literal terms, taken away from TFE. So they come along, yeah, I knew it was all nonsense. Look how wrong they were. A bit like when Behind the Curve came out on Netflix. But in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, those same exact people go, hang on a minute. Why are they still here? Are they literally in the cult that I was told as I was leaving that they were in? Is it really bad now? And they go and have a little look. And providing the Feast of Nonsense doesn't creep in and we aren't usurped by more zealots akin to the likes of Whitsitt and Jaron and Dave Weiss, then you can only hope that when they dip their toe back in however long, they go, oh my God, this isn't what I was exposed to last time. What do you mean Earth's measured flat to make a globe for me to believe in it? Surely not. I want to lean into that going through 2025, right? When I occasionally go back through some of the older debates, it happened more often than I thought would be the case. The amount of times that I find myself in a defensive position for why my opponent is justifying measuring Earth flat because it's so big, and because it's so big gets the focus, with them asserting, with begging a question fallacy, that there's a globe that's got to be considered while I measure, as a globe believer, Earth flat. So we should lean into that. They're taught a lot of the examples, Al-Biruni, Aristophanes, all of these are flat Earth examples that are widely understood. So for me, leaning into Earth's measured flat and you'll need a flat Earth for your globe doesn't take long. I mean, it's been 6 months before I was leaning into just tell people Earth's measured flat to I'll be telling you how your measurement's going to be needing a flat Earth for it last time I was in politics. Like, my confidence in this particular point has grown massively over the 12 months we've been promoting it in the politics server. And I'm hoping that's the case beyond the surface level regurgitation of it by the flaky flat earthers who like the sound of it when they needed something. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm drowning. What can I grab hold of? Measured flat. You say, oh, brilliant. It doesn't matter. It's measured flat.
Because literally that's what they're telling you. They tell you Earth too biggy to measure curvy. Too biggy to measure curvy. So how did you measure it? Flat then? Okay, thanks. Argument done.
Yeah.
It's
I had
literally
a,
as simple
I
as
had a
that.
conversation. Sorry, Chocolate. I had a conversation with somebody about 2 hours ago who
I would
literally
have, bro.
said exactly the same thing.
He's now
Sorry,
hot
Joe.
micing all
The
over
Earth's
you,
too
Jedi.
big.
That's chocolate for you, though, eh?
No, that's fine. I don't mind
Hey.
Chocolate talking through me.
Yeah, Jedi.
Good to hear you, man.
Yeah, it's good to hear you too, buddy. But yeah, the conversation I was having earlier was literally word for word what you just said. The Earth is too big to measure curvature. Awesome stuff. So we measure it flat. Conversation done. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and the derivative of curve comes from those measurements of a flat Earth also. So if you're going to assert, oh yeah, we do definitely measure curve, no, you won't. You'll be measuring Earth flat and then asserting a calculation that infers sphericity violating the initial measurement. They don't know that. They will. Well, they will if they come here. Yeah,
Well, the last, if memory serves me right, the last 2 times you've jumped into politics, the first time I was explaining to somebody how the Earth was measured flat, and the second time with Alpha Veritas, he was explaining how the Earth was measured flat. And you heard the fallout where yourself, Nathan, you had to jump in and kind of take control of the conversation and point out that, these people were just denying the measurements that we were giving them.
Yeah, he went to a forum to get his citation. I can't remember who the guy was, but yeah, whoever it was. These people are very forgettable, generally speaking. But they need to deny the measurement, or they'll infer that they've got a measurement that proves Earth's a sphere, radius. And then when you point out that, no, you're measuring Earth flat at this stage, the first thing you do, in fact, they'll go, it's not the ground, it's not the Earth, we're not measuring.
They're literally conceding to the measurements that they're denying the measurements they just conceded to. Because it's like they don't get, by you saying it's too big to measure the curve, you're saying you didn't measure the curve. Like, it should be that simple, right? You didn't measure the curve, therefore you measured it flat, is what you meant to say when you said it's too big to measure the curve.
Yeah,
right?
And I hope the audience is going through those same mental steps. I'm asserting it doggedly to the opponent. Yeah, you tell me how you measured a sphere, and I'll show you how Earth was measured flat with that assertion. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, but
Because
yesterday the
look
guy
how the
ran away on
progression-
you.
Look how the progression went. It went from it's too big to measure the curve to locally flat until actual globers actually saying we measure it flat. And then blah, 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 curve later, right?
Yeah.
It's like they get it, but they don't really get it because their belief in their little magical spinning water ball is very strong. So what are you going to do?
It's a lethal
You
tool,
just
though,
don't understand.
isn't it? No, they do understand. They understand all too well. That's why we can peg them to the wall with their assertions of how they measure it. Earth, that is. Flat, that is.
No, we made that up. That's what the guy said to me yesterday. You made up the Haversine formula.
The Haversine conversion from flat to globe. Like that process for projecting the points measured with respect to a plane through a spherical surface to the the celestial sphere. No, we didn't make up that conversion. That's what you need to create all these distorted globe projections, right? You need to project the points that were measured flat onto a global surface, right? So you can measure angles through and from the equatorial plane and make it seem like those landmasses exist on what is a glorified protractor view from a flat plane. But at least then you've got plottable points on a curved surface. You're like, that's what you did. That's what you needed to make the maps seem like they had globe somewhere involved.
Yeah, not the people who actually made it up to convince you live on a ball. No. We made it up. Like, are you serious? Stop.
Yeah, it's QE scientific method. We made up the Haversine formula. Earth is not measured flat because you're not measuring the ground, the ever elusive curve.
But when they say
Ground that's
you're
not
not
ground.
measuring the ground, it's normally because we've taken their example, pointed out where they first step they ever take is measuring a flat Earth. They then say you're not measuring the ground. Like, this is your example. So if you and your example fail because you now say your example isn't measuring the ground, it's not the ground, it's not flat, well, then your example that you previously claimed was measuring a sphere Earth now turns out to be a flat Earth measurement, or we'll reject it altogether. So they've got either nothing or an acceptance of a flat Earth. Nothing because they won't accept their own bloody measurement when we point out how flat they're measuring Earth, because suddenly it isn't the Earth. How dare we use their own example to show how Earth's measured flat?
That sounds like, how dare you make me bleed my own blood? That's how stupid it is.
He did it with Witsit, remember? Well, you kind of putting me in a position where I can only make my argument with a contradiction now. How outrageous of you. No, you're just in a contradiction, and we've pointed it out to you. That doesn't make it our fault that you now have to remain in contradiction when you talk to your audience with your lies. That's just you in contradiction with yourself. Don't shoot the messenger, globe believers. It's all right. You can still believe in your globe after we point out how Earth must be measured flat for it. You know, you're all entitled to your beliefs. I couldn't care less. Keep your belief. But just know it's measured flat for it. You don't have to like it. You obviously don't. Because when you've told us how Earth is measured spherically, we show you how it isn't. It's actually measured flat. Why would you know? Who'd have thunk it? 101 people watching. Please share the show if you've not done so already. Smash that share button. Stick it on your favourite social media platform, be that MyBoat, BSpace, Facebeeble, whatever it is you use. We're in politics tomorrow, yeah. Hence we're talking about it today. And I'm sure we will. We'll find a different server to make our way to.
Are you going to go back to Earth Awakenings or the Land of Misfit Toys? I heard you say that the other week.
Maybe. It's in my list. I mean, it's one that I can actually click if it gets to 2 months from now and I'm like, yeah, we will definitely toddle along to a different server. Nobody said a word.
They don't want us there. They made it clear that they don't want us there. But I think that's the best place to go. When you don't want us there, we show up.
Not really. I don't know. I would hope that we're communicating with people who are receptive to what we've got to say or fundamentally opposed, as opposed to lukewarm flat earthers who want to, engage in nonsense that we decry and therefore they don't like us. We're kind of done with that. If their little fringe stays little because they want to decry the best arguments there are, then that's up to them.
Well, I think they got insulted because Cutie named them the Land of the Misfit Toys. They blamed you for it. I think the last time we were there, SC Montreal was very upset about that.
Okay. Why does QE call them the Land of Misfit Toys?
Did you ever see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Probably not, because I don't get the reference.
Okay. Well, there was, instead of it being a Jack in a Box, the elves made the wrong toy. So it was a Charlie in a box. So all these misfits wound up on a Land of Misfit Toys. They weren't made the way they were supposed to be made.
I see. Well, that is quite insulting, isn't it?
Well, if you act the part, you're gonna get the name.
Act the part? Well, have they got like springs where they should have cogs?
Yeah, Nathan, you've been there. You've seen how they argue. They argue with us about celestial navigation and about flat baselines not being the Earth. It's not the Earth. We could do it this way. Does it have to be? I heard a baller tell me that he could do it on a globe.
Okay. So it sounds like they don't know the arguments or don't fully understand the arguments. A point being, wouldn't that be the perfect place to be going, Neil?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I didn't say we would.
Well, we ask politely for their permission to be there. We don't just turn up and siege it like an illegal immigrant.
We
Yeah.
already have permission.
Well,
We
we
don't
don't
need
have.
to.
Oh no, we don't have like ongoing permission. We haven't been there for ages, so I would have to square it with somebody beforehand. I mean, by me, I mean I'd ask someone else to do that on my behalf.
Just kick the freaking door in and enter.
You want to do that now, do you, Neil?
Kick the door and enter and say, we're here. Anyway, what's your thoughts on the PFE? That's a good way to get in. They'll be talking about that. Trust me.
Okay. I don't even know if there's anybody there. I mean, there's somebody in there live streaming right now, or they're in a room that's called live stream. I don't want to step on someone's toes if I do just toddle along. Should we chance it?
Yeah, give it a chance. If somebody's doing something and we can't, we'll just say, all right, well, can we come back another time?
Okay, guys in FED, we'll be right back.
Assuming that it's not a globe and it's a flat Earth, then would that prove that like there's only one sun? It's a very odd line of questioning. The answer is no.
But you could do it the other way around as well, right? Like, in order for that to make sense on a flat plane, we have to tear down a bunch of assumptions, and basically, we now know a lot less than we did before, right? We now don't know what the sky is, we don't know what the sun is, we don't know where they were, right? This necessitates us now doubting a lot. Okay.
Well, we can all agree that both models.
Hang on, he wasn't done. He wasn't done making his point. Go ahead, manufacturer.
That was close enough.
I was just going to say we can all agree that both models, in inverted commas, have never been proven. So I don't know why we're talking about models anyway. They're not the reality, right? It's not. It's like, come on, guys.
That's not what flat
Well,
Earth.
we can represent.
What they've done. They've strawmanned flat Earth into a model. And flat earthers have been saying from the beginning, we don't have a model. So you globers have set up a false dichotomy, and you've tricked the low-level flat earthers or the people on the fence into thinking you have some sort of proof.
Sounds like they're doing pretty well to me.
Yes,
I wouldn't stereotype manufacturers doing that. Maybe he said that, but I haven't heard him say that.
Not Manu personally. I think he knows what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I do, but I would push back against that. I mean, you claim not to have a model, but a model is just a representation of something.
What I'll do is I'll wait till there's a gap, and then I'll ask them if in future we're like welcome to toddle along and participate. But I'll wait for a gap to do that. Just hopefully you guys can keep shum just till that happens.
Geometry or the ground, yeah, great. Flat Earth is empirically the truth. You know, this is something that we can speak about with knowledge that we're not experiencing the curving, rotating surface. But then, you know, you guys claim there's a vacuum in the sky. Well, we can demonstrate to you logically that that's impossible. But you've already made that assumption and taken the next steps. And now you're claiming that, you know, this 24-hour sun proves we live on a globe of 25,000 miles circumference when that's already been debunked.
No, I don't say that.
So we're in a mess here.
No, I don't say that.
You guys think it means one thing, but it doesn't. The argument has already been established, and the sky is not direct evidence of the curving, spinning ball.
Okay, so for my audience's benefit, we're currently in Earth Awakening's Discord server. If one of my YouTube mods can put a link to Earth Awakening's Discord, so hopefully people from the audience can actually toddle along to this server. Like I say, I'm still waiting for a gap to actually introduce ourselves and say, are we welcome here? But we'll find out how that goes shortly. Please click the link. Hopefully one of my mods will dig out the Earth Awakening's Discord server link to put in the live stream chat.
Quite easily be a circle around us, and if you invoke a dome with a parabolic curve reflection in the south, then you would expect, with the way we see perspective, and you have your protracted dome of vision, then you would expect to see a small sun. Everybody has a reflective 24-hour sun based on their observer's position in the south.
No, we don't. That's just made up. There is no
it's not, though,
reflective sun.
because if you look into the Egyptian cosmology, and if you look into other ancient cosmologies, like what was the other one I was looking at the other day? I can't remember, but there are other cosmologies. Even in the Greek, they hint at the idea of the south being very different to the north, and connecting the south with ideas of deception. They may as well, before the word reflection, they're using other words around this. So I'm saying we can look into the past and see similar models.
not one with the sun being a reflection or anything like that. The reason the south is different.
Can I ask, how do the globers like? I'm not trying to back the flat Earth model, whatever that is, right? Yeah, you know the
There is no
FE,
model. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Whatever it is, right? You know, but I'm just saying with the sun's analemma, and I'm not trying to reify what we see in the sky to prove what we see in the on the Earth, right? But how do the globers explain why the arc is bigger in the south than it is in the north? With the
I honestly don't.
The tilt of the Earth.
It's to do with the
If it's pretty much a ball, would it not be pretty much equal size, like the analemma, north and south?
The analemma is to do with the analemma is to do with the orbit over a year.
With the 23 degrees or whatever.
3 hours ago, I did want to ask a question.
Right?
3 hours ago, I was trying to ask a question. How comes there's no differentiation in the sky? Because in the north, there's you can verify that there's a change in the sky. You know, it's not bright. Whereas there's no.
Can I have a minute? You guys don't mind? I just noticed Nathan is here. So I'd like to welcome him, and I've been meaning to ask him a question directly.
Okay.
So if you guys don't mind.
I think you've already answered mine, though. I was going to say, am I welcome to be here?
Yes, you are.
Hey, what's up, Nathan?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
welcome. To be here, then.
Thanks,
Thank you
brother.
for having me.
Hey, Essie, can I answer the analemma thing before you go there?
Yeah, go ahead, finish up, and then I'd like to ask Nathan a question.
There's awakenings that you shit on all the time, but yeah, still, it's fine. Like,
that's
the analemma is larger in the southern hemisphere once you're in the northern hemisphere. If you watch it from the southern hemisphere, the northern part is like the upper part gets larger. It's a bit symmetrical, but it's not 100% symmetrical. And the explanation for that would be the eccentricity of the orbit. Because the Earth spends more time further from the sun. That's when that's the part in which the tilt is on the northern hemisphere. So the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun in the half of the orbit that the Earth spends more time in. So it's not really symmetrical because of the eccentricity.
So we're good? You guys are good? You're done?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. So, yeah, welcome, Nathan. And I'd like to ask you a question because, of course, all this 24-hour sun. And you were one of the people that, of course, an influential flat earther that said that there's no way that the 24-hour sun could be. And now I would like to know your opinion from your mouth. What do you think? Are you satisfied that there is? And if there is, how does your opinion vary, if any?
Well, first of all, just a slight correction. What I did was echo the sentiments of a first-hand witness. That's Robert Shortman. So at the point that I was told there wasn't one, I echoed that sentiment. But once that had been done, that's it. I've got no other interest in it and have no longer utilised it since that point 8 years ago to make any claims or lay down any evidentiary standards at all. But if it was useful, it would be a housekeeping question. But it isn't. Now, your second question, do I accept it? I can accept it at face value, but I can equally just as easily reject it at face value, depending on what's being presented to me, because in either event, it's inconsequential to me. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it kind of does. Okay,
sure does.
So, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, sure.
And I think that's the sentiment of a lot of us guys here. You know, like it doesn't bear any weight when it comes to is the ground flat. And I think that's basically where we're at, right? We're sitting here arguing about another sky observation. Are we just falling into the globers, paradigm here?
Well, somebody said earlier that it might suggest that Antarctica is not the rim of the world. Nathan, would you agree with that? Does it change your position on what Antarctica is?
I'll say it again, I didn't make a position beyond what I was told from a first-hand testimony from a witness, which is to say, I have never asserted that it was be a ring all the way around us, and I get very stroppy when people do make that assertion because I ask them to evidence it. Give me your standard of evidence for this claim, and if they just show me a picture of a chunk of ice, I'm like, well, that's not 74,000 miles, is it? So I don't make that claim. If you're going to make a positive claim, you need to back it. People make that claim all the time and never back it.
Fair enough.
Are you talking about that plumber, Nathan?
Yeah, Robert Shortman.
That said that,
He was down in Antarctica
yeah.
for 18 months. So when we grilled him on what he observed, he certainly didn't give testimony to a 24-hour sun. Quite the contrary.
Did he write in a book, Nathan, with someone he went with? Because I remember seeing a bit of a clip from Will Duffy, something about he'd gone with someone else. I forget the exact context, but they both wrote the book together, and they both said that they did observe a 24-hour sun.
You'd
But
have to
then
ask
in
him.
your interview, all of a sudden he escaped him. He's like, oh, he's not sure now. All of a sudden.
Well, that could be seen as suspicious, but you'd have to ask him. I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Well, I mean, is it fair to say that this guy lied to you then?
I don't know. I don't assume that he's lied to me. If you assume retroactive continuity, that is to say, what he observed is always the case, therefore he must be lying. But I don't know that that's the case either. As far as I'm concerned, I will take his testimony as read. I don't automatically assume he's a lying shitbag. Same goes with Duffy. That's what I said earlier. If you want me to take as read their standard of evidence that they present in videography form, I'm willing to do that for the sake of discussion. What does it prove would be my first question.
Yeah. Do we have any globers that can put the argument in a logical syllogism? We might get somewhere if they can.
I like you, Roots. Well, while they're figuring that out, shout out to Iron26 for smashing the super chat. It appears I've missed 20,000 episodes. Not at all. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh, you're live, Nathan?
If I'm here, I'm always live. That's the only reason I'd be here. That's what I do.
Okay, good stuff. Welcome.
That's kind of why I was asking. I thought that was implied, and I should have made it more explicit. Yeah, I'm here as always because that's what I do, making a show. So if I wasn't live, I'd be recording at the very least. That's kind of why I'm saying, or waiting politely for permission to be here. In effect, that's what I'm asking. Not, am I welcome? Am I welcome to be here, or do I have permission to be here, knowing what I do?
Of course.
Sure. So yeah, let me jump in. Yeah, welcome, Nathan. So I think if you want to, run kind of a on-the-fly event, for some time, as you have in the past, I think what we could do is within just a minute or two, I could just automatically move everyone into the stage channel. I'll make a quick event up at the top, and then we can send an, at everyone to everyone on the server to let everyone know it's starting, and then we can do it in the stage. That way, it'll be a lot more controlled, because when there's going to be probably 60, 70 people that will end up in here, especially if I tag everybody. So it's going to be, we don't want open mics and hot mics and any of that stuff. It's going to be too chaotic. It's just literally on a pins and needles until somebody might be, they pop in. And when the room's, when it's only 20, 30 people, we can maintain it, but it's going to get to 70, 80 people or more just in the VC here. So yeah, I think if you want to do that, we can do it on the fly. It sounds good. We can host it, and I would just do an automatic move. It would move everyone to the stage channel, take just probably 2-3 minutes to set it up, and we can start if that's what you'd like to do.
I mean, at the moment, I'm easy. I'm just more here gauging the water to see, are you all happy for me to be here? Because before I came, my own panel was saying, oh, they don't like us over there. QE calls them names. He's labelled you the land of misfit toys, and apparently that's caused offence. And I'm like, well, they're just people. I'm sure they're fine. But then Neil was like, well, just go in and see. So that's why we are here, to go in and see that you're not like, oh, we all hate you and despise you. Why would you be here? Go away immediately. Which isn't the attitude, far from it, which is what I suspected. But thank you for your hospitality. I will toggle along shortly. My intention wasn't to stay, is my point. My intention was just to see if you guys are all cool, and you definitely seem to be.
Who was that, Gio?
Yeah.
I haven't heard you in a minute, bro. How you been?
Yo, what's up, Eli? Yeah, good, bro. How are you?
Nah, man. It's chocolate, brother.
Oh, it's chocolate.
It's all right.
Chocolate, dude. It is pretty muffled. It's pretty muffled. It's a little hard to hear you. Chocolate, what is up, bro? It's been some time, bro. Good to hear you.
Yeah, good to hear you, man.
There's no
Yeah,
offense
is it-
taken, right? They're both black and they do sound similar. I mean, what's the big deal?
Well, it's also the mic setup. It's more distant, and it was hardly. I was just able to make out. So yeah, but all good.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, yeah, Nathan. I mean, it's up.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
We can tell them by how frequently they interrupt. Eli's a bit worse than Chocolate. Notice how I put
We
you
got
together as a
Jeremy
they.
and Jeremy. So
I've got them
Coach
stereotyped
so.
together as a they now. No one picked up the humour. Anyway.
Well, yeah. So I mean, ultimately, yeah, like we can just hang out in the open VC. There might, as long as no one interrupts, so we can just kind of have a casual, but if you have people coming through your mic, that's just when it gets, because sometimes people will hot mic, sometimes people will just jump in, kind of thing. So if you want to, we can move it to the stage channel and do that. If not, we can just hang as is and keep rolling.
No, I'm actually gonna thank you for letting me know what I needed to know in no uncertain terms, which I'm very grateful for, Gio. Extremely grateful. But yeah, that means that in future I can just pop in, and I'm not just going to be suddenly everyone's going to have their backup because I'm there. Whereas this initial visit is just to find that out, and I'm very grateful that you've made it explicitly clear. You've also given me a heads up, and word to the wise, I'm hearing you off on FM. My panel can be quite disruptive. So your little nod's been heard, and I'll bear that in mind and keep a leash on them. Yeah, that kind of thing, Neil. Anyway, well, thank you for having me in the short term. I'll let you guys get back to your discussion and let your fundies get back to begging the question of a antipodal global positioning system for them to detail this antipodal Antarctic observation of the sun. So thank you for having us. See you later. Oh, there you go, Neil. Unexpectedly, they were very, very, very hospitable to us.
Unexpectedly, they were doing pretty good too.
Yeah, I closed my line in Discord so I could say exactly that to the audience. Sound like they're doing pretty well to me. Yeah, most of their arguments pretty much in a line as far as I could hear.
I heard somebody say when they were welcoming you, somebody said, yeah, you shit on our channel all the time. Why not? It's fine. But that's not right, because it's not us personally. It's QE's one that gave him that name, and we seem to get blamed for it. But we all are on one team.
Is
So
my stream?
I'll take the blame.
Stopped? Hold on a second, Neil. Is my stream still working? Concurrent viewers. It's excellent connection. Why is it showing me the thumbnail? That's slightly concerning. No,
well, you're still on YouTube. I could see
live.
it. I got it on.
Okay. No, it just things are going weird, and I'm getting the connection errors that QE was moaning about last night. Isn't that fate, eh? I get his all working nicely, and mine suddenly starts dropping frames. Oh yeah, it's dropping a ton of frames. Okay. Well, it looks like this is going to be a round out to the show shortly because I'm having PC issues seemingly, unexpectedly. I wonder why that's happening. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm going to round out. Looks like my computer is definitely having a bad time of it. So with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow.
Kicking ass, destroying heliocentrists, still doing me exercises, enjoyed the holidays, louder than louder, 63, still kicking it, okay? Nice to hear your voice, though.
Yeah, good man. It's good to see you around, mate. I did wonder where you disappeared to. You don't often see you around.
I've been banging on the door of politics. I've been banging on that. Remember I told you I had that issue and I can't get in. I'm still banging on the bloody door. Okay? I've been trying to get into fucking, I've been trying to get into this politics for 3 years or more. Because I was invited there 2 years ago, in fact. So that's 3 years now and I'm still not able to get in. Okay? Politics.
Okay.
Wait, when we're in politics, you can't get in there?
No, I can't get in there. I was invited 2 years ago. And ever since, I've been trying without failure every month. All I get is a pudding. When I actually click on the 24/7 to join, the blue bar comes up. I click on it, and all I get is a pudding. And a few minutes go by, pudding. I can't get in. It's like I'm bouncing off. I just can't get in.
I think it's your 15-year-old phone, Jen. I think he needs to upgrade.
No, it can't be. I'm on all the other servers. It can't be. Something's wrong. Isn't there anywhere being verified? by the people who run it. It is really odd.
Yeah. I'll take your ID number, mate, and I'll see if I can do it the old-fashioned manual way. I'll see if I can do that for you. Hold on, though, dude. I won't do it right now.
All right, cheers. Yeah,
I'll get around to it.
yeah. I've been banging to get in there, man. What are you talking about? I've been listening. I'm thinking, how comes I can't get in? Bloody hell, man! Everybody's bringing me the news. Everyone's bringing me the news of politics. I'm the one. It was the same story with the Discord as well. Back about, what, 7 years ago when I was trying to get in. Merle from Australia gives me the link. It took me 2 years to get in. But it was like Boxing Day of 2017 when I finally got into Discord.
Hey, Jen, that's
Yeah.
because you didn't have Jedi to walk you like he walked me through it. See, if you would have got Jedi, you would have got in same night like I did.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. Well, I'm hoping we get in now because we kicked ass on 24/7 all the time. It was brilliant, man. I loved it. And then I hear you've all moved to politics, and I can't even get in. I'm banging on the door like Fred Flintstone.
I'll try and get it sorted out for you, mate. Politics is definitely somewhere that you need to be and you'd enjoy. I can feel that. So, yeah, I'll see what I can do for you, mate.
Cheers, man. Yeah, because I got to get in there, man. What is this? Those globbers.
What happened on Earth Awakenings? Did the show just abruptly
I think
end?
they
or
were very
something?
accommodating, like extremely accommodating.
Yeah. I was there when Nathan went in there. And if Nathan had looked at the chat, when he got in, he would have seen Gin CBR1 posting flatten the curve. Right? That's what you would have seen. I just posted it as you came in.
They were so accommodating, they were going to start a show right then and there for us. So that's good news.
Exactly. They were willing to move us into a venue space or whatever you would call that. Right?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to go there.
Yeah, it seems that way. Well, Gio made that explicitly
Yeah, matter
clear.
of fact, Gio's is actually talking about it right now.
I was in there for 10 seconds and got immediately kicked out of the server.
What'd you do,
Nobody
Max?
kicks anybody out unless you're being interrupted.
Well, no, I was in the text chat, and Brenda's like, I want to be unmuted. And I said, Brenda, every time you get unmuted, all you do is call people child abusers. You shouldn't be unmuted. And then I got kicked for saying that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wrong, that is, isn't it? Now, see what I mean? Now, that's what they do, you see. One hand, they welcome you in, and then that happens. You know?
No, they're friendly. The problem is they're friendly. The problem is they're friendly to everybody. They want to be nice to the Glovers. They want to be nice to Brenda. And that's where we're going to have problems down the road.
Yeah. I always say he anyway. Him. I don't say anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I did address Brenda as him, but I mean, that's my own personal choice to do so. It's not even being offensive. It's just being true.
Just don't.
It's just being true, exactly.
No,
exactly.
They're
And you must
accommodating to
always be
Brenda.
true.
Just let them.
As you always will be. And I salute you for that.
I'm not saying suddenly become a bloody liberal or anything, right? I'm just saying it becomes about that if you do that. So just don't do that, and then it won't become about that.
I'm wondering if maybe just because I used the word child, and I wasn't even trying, but it's just I know the last time Brenda got an open mic on this show, that's exactly what they did.
That's what they always
no
do.
one needs to listen to that crap.
Well, the moment we got
I've
there,
been there
we
when he's
entered
done
and
that.
Brenda was on mute
I've been there when he
immediately.
has done that,
So
yeah.
Brenda was on mute.
I've
So
been there when he's
they
done
obviously take a similar stance with her that we take,
Yeah.
right? Or she wouldn't have been on server mute the moment we got there.
Yeah, I should have just minded my business, I guess. It's my own fault. Ish.
But it was positive when you went over to Earth Awakenings, Nathan, yeah?
Very. Yes.
Good. That's what you wanted to hear, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, you just want to
That's
know
good.
that the people that are there aren't going to immediately shun us for just being there. And it was made clear that that's not going to be the case. So that's, great. We didn't spend lots and lots of time. We didn't make it our home from home. We just went to the person or the server that was the most accommodating, and that was politics. Well, that's served us very, very well. But, now we can go along to Earth Awakenings and others. Hopefully my call to action will still be, people will take heed and, say, no, I do actually want you to come along to this server. I'd just be preferring if it wasn't made where that it was me that sent you. And then we'll have to work something out, right?
Yeah, Nathan, I like this move that you're doing as well, because what you're going to be doing is bringing flat earthers together as well. So that's a good move, an excellent move. Okay, bang on time, perfect.
Yeah, if it would have been much, we would have done it sooner if it wasn't for Neil.
Anyway, I was cringing a little bit when SC Montreal said he had a question for you. I was like, oh boy, here we go. But it was fine. He accepted
He's
the answer.
anti-ether. I was surprised when he said that he does not buy into ether and he thinks it's BS. I assumed everybody over there was an etherite.
Well, that's the problem. I think lots of people have got assumptions about what's going on in that server because of a couple of experiences. And the couple of experiences from my memory were no different to somebody in our own circle saying, I don't agree, here's why, and vehemently disagreeing to the point where it gets quite brutal at times. But you're like, isn't that kind of what we do internally? It's just because we're less familiar with people like SC Montreal that we see that as a bit of a slight against us. And it's like, no, how is he any different to Brian having a heated discussion with one of us on the panel internally? How is that any different? Just because they're in a Discord server, they're not going to automatically extend huge levels of respect to us for no justified reason if we're not familiar with them and they're not familiar with us. And we can't necessarily expect it, but it seems like that impression has left some of the people in the G Plus and our own Discord server of the impression that they're Ethereans or that they're not hospitable. And yet, as soon as I get in there, I see loads of familiar faces. So I'm thinking, well, they wouldn't be here if they were like that.
Well, we didn't just stop going there. They told us they didn't want us there anymore.
Oh, did
but
they?
anyway,
I don't
the
remember
thing
that.
is this. A lot
don't
of
remember that.
people, yeah, we want to walk on. That's why we stopped going. Anyway, what's going to happen more and more because of this TFE and what's going on with it, you're going to see a lot more people dropping this ether nonsense.
Maybe. I don't know if people will make that connection that, you know, this bullshitter who they perceive to be a bullshitter about things that potentially we wouldn't agree with them, you know, because they're critiquing him over Vapegate and, I mean, yes, I understand why Witsit lied now that we've really seen all the dust settle. But, you know, people, I think it was Chocolate that coined it, like, how many gates have they got to get through before they'll accept that they've seen a 24-hour sun and even accept it at face value? You know, there's another gate. I saw one come up in the Master B. Someone else put a new gate in. What's the latest gate? Oh, where is it?
Stitch Gate.
What's it? Say again.
Yes. Stitch Gate.
Stitch Gate. Tell me all about it. Yeah. Come on, fill me in. I don't know.
Wait, first tell us how many there are, because there was a debate whether there was 14. I heard Chocolate say 17.
Okay.
Oh, you talked about what Level Earth Observer did? I haven't seen it, but I saw his thumbnail. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it's to do with CGI compositing and evidence that they're in some kind of 3D dome, because some of the images appear to be stitched together. Now, I'm not holding any credence to this. I'm not siding on any side with this. I'm just reporting what Level Earth Observer has said from, I think it's from another source as well. So it's called Stitchgate because certain pieces of the imagery appears to be stitched together. That's what they're saying.
The problem with all these gates is all these flat earthers are producing flat earth content and they're just making anti-Witsit content now, and that's not really a good look. Well, not just but the whole trip. Like, they're just critiquing the trip being fake when really they should just be making more content of what they were doing prior. Just, I mean, who cares? If it was fake, no one can prove it.
I think that was the purpose of this whole TFE crap in the first place. Throw everything into chaos. And the ones that aren't running in, like, their heads are on fire, those are the dangerous ones. The ones that say it doesn't matter what the hell the sun is doing in Antarctica. Yeah, like us, those are the dangerous ones.
Well, that's what Brian said. He said they tried to wave away 10 years of the hard work that was put in here in one swift move.
And I said today that Camel's back is indestructible when it comes to that point. That I mentioned that actually in the Geo server, that it doesn't change anything at all regarding the flatness of the Earth. That camel's back is indestructible. So it's not, doesn't matter what you're doing up there. And more importantly, we should be discussing, because someone else actually brought it up when I was backing that guy up, the north-south circumnavigation that hasn't been spoken about. And I spoke about the guy called Greater Sapien, who took $25,000 of the YouTubers' money. Of course, they all paid in, didn't they? And shortly after he got the money, it got lost somehow. Do you know what I mean? He handed it in, and somehow he got robbed or whatever. You know? Do you know what I mean? And he had to apologise, so he said. And then a few months later, about 6-7 months later, I contacted him in the comments and asked him if he had paid that money back. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah,
So
he's driving a new car.
I'm not going to talk about anything. Say that again? Sorry?
I said, yeah, he's probably driving a new car. 25,000 went down
exactly.
south.
Yeah, and D Marble, in fact, definitely warned him that north-south circumnavigation is never going to happen. You can't do it. Don't give the money to that company, right? But he did. He gave the money to the company, and then the company kind of like disappeared, he said, and, he's apologizing, and I'll do my best to get the money back to you. Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Life of me.
Words to that effect. Words to that effect, anyway. That's what he said. And I think that was in 2016, approaching 17, somewhere there. This north-south circumnavigation was, and we all warned him that it's not possible to do it. Greater Sapien, he's a glober, isn't he? So, obviously he's going to do it. But yeah, that's what we should be talking about, really. And then I dropped in the video called Flatten the Curve, which came out in 2022. And then after I explained what it was about, because I asked people in that server, how many of you have seen this documentary? Only 2 people spoke up, right? One of them was Big Root, and the other guy was from England, okay? So I said, I posted this thing in there more than 20 times over the couple of years. Why haven't any of you seen it, right? So, okay, you flat earthers, make sure you watch it. Those of you who will know what I'm talking about. And it's about the pilots talking about when they fly to Antarctica, to the south, that the actual compass doesn't flip. Do you know what I mean? So obviously they don't fly antipodal is what they said. We do not fly antipodal. And at what point would my compass flip? Those were the words. Okay, and I said, that's why I dropped that video. And then Nathan just popped in as soon as I finished. Just popped in as I finished. Good, isn't it, eh?
Well, we got
I'm always
pitch
giving
data.
it to them in there. I'm always keeping them on their toes in there. Always.
Jin, what do you mean when you say the compass should flip?
Well, basically, if you're going upside down, and you're going, as you transition going upside down, the compass should move round, shouldn't it? Can't keep pointing north.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And the pilot said that the compass doesn't do that. That's what they said. We're talking about, these are the jet fighter pilots that said that, in this documentary. Don't even know if you've seen it, but if you haven't, it's a good watch because, you're talking about the professionals now, the jet fighter pilots, instructors that teach you how to fly a plane. Who else was there? The submariners. Okay, so they operate under the sea. Then you've got naval personnel from the aircraft carriers, okay? And then the helicopter gunship pilots, and then a private jet fighter pilot as well. Okay, so private jet pilot. Now, he and all of the group of them said that if we subjected our instruments to the globe, that it wouldn't work on the globe. Okay? So, it's worth watching. I watched it when it first came out. I've been watching it ever since, and I pass it on to people. Professionals.
Jin, are you aware of the pitch angle data from aircraft?
Oh, yes, that's called Globetard Flatline, episode 128, and you learn about the plane the cowling that came off from the engine whilst leaving Hawaii and that. And, obviously, the pilot turns the engine off and then returns back to Honolulu. I've been slamming them hard with that in that server, hammering them with it. Yeah, of course.
Do you understand what? Do you understand what I mean by the pitch of the aircraft?
Yeah, the pitch angle, because the angle in the black box in flight recorder the plane is flying horizontal. That's what it records. It doesn't deviate from the horizontal line because it would have to if the Earth is curving. Of course, that's been my argument since 2015. My argument, that one. That's my number one. Aeroplanes flew flat Earth.
Since this pitch data has come out, I've had 4 conversations with, taking them at face value, that people have told me that they were pilots, and every time I've had the conversation, they've rage quit and left. They can't handle it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Hey,
That's
Jen,
been my experience as well.
You stole my argument, Jen. That's my favorite argument.
Hey.
Sorry about that.
Brian's been saying that 2 weeks before all of you.
Oh, of course.
I've been saying it all along, man. You know, BioJewel from the Gen Panda server and his cronies and that making up their pilots. And I've told them, you know, because that's when it was going live on YouTube. I said, ladies and gentlemen, I taught myself about the principle of flight at elementary school. I would have been about 8 years old. NASA hadn't quite got to the moon yet. Okay? And if these people are pilots, don't fly on their planes because they are murdering the principle.
Well, I think we all understand. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think we all understood that flight is like the best way to defeat this, because you're flying level. Anywhere I've flown, once you get to that cruising altitude, you're going hundreds of miles level at the same altitude. I mean, it's obvious to a duck.
I mean, imagine that's when the flight attendants bring out your hot coffee and stuff, and then expect you to negotiate the curve with your hot coffee sitting on your tray. That'd be a fun flight. I think there's a reason why when they reach cruising altitude, that's when seatbelts come off and, you know, they serve drinks and food and stuff.
It's so stupid.
Do you think they'd be doing that if you had to negotiate a curve? Yeah. No.
While also flying to the point that the place that you're going to will be, since it won't be there after you take off. It's all retarded, man.
Yeah, that's what I was actually kind of going to.
What do you mean it won't be there?
What do you mean? You mean you got to chase your location down as you're flying?
Wait. I got to hear that again. What do you mean it won't be there, Eli?
No, like before, because obviously, you know, Globers would be like, oh, he doesn't understand that the atmosphere moves with the no, Lugnut. The example given by Neil deGrasse Tyson was that whatever team it was kicked the field goal and it went into the goal because the earth turned underneath the football. So don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about when the science communicators are giving you examples of what they mean when the earth turns underneath it. So if I'm going to Miami, I don't have to track where Miami will be in Earth's rotation underneath.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can make a full comprehensive argument in regards to like the Coriolis or like the bullet trajectory you aim ahead of it. So these you know, with Jedi mentioning the plane flights, so the routes are mapped out where the location is, not where it's going to be. But the claim is that they are taking the Great Circle route, the shortest distance between 2 points, but underneath the rotating reference frame, that would not be the shortest distance. Then they're claiming they're taking an arc, you know, path Haversine formula over the surface, so you can defeat both the rotation and the shortest distance between 2 points and the curvature or drop over distance with the flight data and the flight plan. Yeah. All of them are out the window. Pitch data.
Just to go back to Eli's point real quick, right? It's funny that people will accept that when it's coming from Neil Smoking deGrasse Tyson, right? Oh, the field goal moved to an extent where the goal was made, but won't extrapolate that. When you get on a plane, your location is moving, because if the field goal had to move, your damn location, your city, your town, wherever the hell, the airport that you're flying to is moving. And you're going to have to find it and locate that. Right?
No. And I'm not
That's
saying
Eli's point.
because Matthew learns is like, well, think of it as you're going, you're crossing a river.
Why?
And I'm like, what's that got to do with the land on the other side that's not moving at all?
You're breaking up, chocolate. Chocolate.
You can't hear you, chocolate.
Chocolate.
Was it my background?
I don't know, chocolate.
Okay.
We went to Earth Awakenings, and I spoke once and got mistaken for you. So
That was classic. No, the best is when Eli said, I thought I was chocolate.
No, that didn't happen.
That was good. That was good.
You went to the land of misfit toys. Shut up. Get your mic fixed. You went to the land of misfit toys.
Yes, sir.
No way. Why'd you do that?
It felt right at the time.
There now?
Felt right. Just felt right.
It felt right. It was a thing to do.
Yeah, it felt right.
What were they talking about?
I think you would have been impressed.
Testing the waters, dipping our toe in the water, see what the temperature is like.
You got it.
Felt pretty good.
But do you see? Did they change the server's name to Brokeback Glacier?
Oh boy!
What that means.
See, we're getting blamed for that because somebody in the background said when Nathan asked if he was welcome, somebody said, "Why not? You shit all over us. Then you want to come? Fine." But really, we don't.
I've entirely blamed QE. This is his fault.
I didn't hear you. Say it again.
I just can't get over that piece of carpet on Whitspit's face. That carpet, orange carpet.
You're talking about the fact that he looks like a strawberry?
His beard.
Yeah.
It's a stage beard.
It's Beardgate.
Beardgate. Huey, you would have been impressed. They were arguing pretty good. I wasn't expecting it.
Who?
I don't know who was speaking, but over there in the land of, I'm not going to say it because we're going to go there. We got to be nice. The Earth Awakening server.
They're a joke, dude. I don't know what you must have just caught an apparition or something.
Well, it's glad we've continued the nice sentiments into the recording bit of this show.
Yeah, but they were willing to move things around and set up a room so Nathan could do a show. They were very accommodating.
They did that before, right?
No. But when we left, we weren't welcome there anymore. That's why we left. I'll find the show. I will find it.
It's going to end the same way. You're going to be in there one time, and Mr. Ping Pong Golf Ball is going to show up, and it's going to all be over again.
I love it.
Yeah. Did you find any people that were in there that you said, man, I thought you left the community?
Ping Pong Golf Ball has like 18 gates. He's got to correct and talk about. So
18 now.
Yeah, it's 18 now.
But this is where he thrives. Like it's always been, ooh, guys, let's talk about the Anon stuff. Ooh, guys, let's talk about the 5G stuff. Ooh, guys, yeah, Earth is flat. We know that, but let's talk about ooh, Earth is flat. But now let's talk about whether I vaped or not, or whether there's nothing different with this guy.
Wait a second, he was a 5G guy? I didn't know that.
Yes, he's an everything guy. He's done it all.
I heard Roofy in there yesterday, by the way. They were discussing the azimuthal grid of vision.
What?
What is that?
You're gonna have to ask them. I think I heard ping pong golf ball mention it one time, but I don't know.
So you're in there
grid
then.
of vision?
So you're in there then. So you're frequenting there.
I'm not frequenting there. They have a stream, right? So if I get bored in the evening and there's nothing to do, I'll turn it off, flip through it. So no, I'm not in there. Nice mic. I hear everything clearly.
Agreed.
So why'd you leave so quick?
I didn't want to be hated, so I just left while we were on a high note.
How long were you in there?
About 4.5 minutes.
What?
Yeah, they started talking shit after.
It's not gonna go. It's not gonna go well, dude. That Zanuck is gonna show up, and it's gonna be over. Or some other clueless clown's gonna show up. Yeah, they're gonna be on their best behavior around you, though. You know what I'm saying with the arguments. The arguments are gonna tick up in Courant until you leave, and then they're just gonna go back to what they do.
Huey, we're on a mission from God.
Yeah, right.
Mission from
So is that going to be a
God?
weekly service that you go?
No,
What
no,
day?
I'm just-
So I know what day to come.
No. No, I'm just checking that we're okay to toddle along. You know, if we just popped in uninvited as we did today, would that be cool? And they were like, yeah. Well, okay, well, that's good. That's all I need to know.
So we can come in so you'll pick the day that I'm not here, right? And then go in there.
Probably. I'm going to round out soon because we're going to start doing the book like in earnest, like now.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are. What do you mean, no, we're not?
No, we're not.
We've got to.
Huh?
We've got to.
Not today.
What do you mean, not today?
What do you mean? I told Adam just suddenly out of the blue says book, right? After I've been chasing him for 3 weeks to do the book. No.
Yeah, I can't deny that. That's been happening.
So?
Yeah. Well, you want to do the book right now? I just woke up, dude. I'm not doing
That's okay.
the book right.
Well, if Adam's
I
available,
only-
he said he was available after 2.
Yeah, I only need probably half an hour or so of your time anyway, QE. I've done a lot of donkey work, but I just need a little bit of tidying up, and then I can crack on again. I've been working whilst we've been listening, that's why I've been quiet.
Well, I'm going to round out so we can do it in earnest. So with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible while I'm fiddling with this mic and doing what I do. Nothing to stay tuned for, even though it's quite early in the day. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.